So this last Thursday we got a new Fast and Furious expansion pack, bringing some interest and somewhat controversial stuff to the game, and I want to talk a little about it. Firstly, there is the environment, which is really not the main focus of this video. Interesting environment with a few Easter eggs for your Fast and Furious fans, but I thought it was a little smaller than what I was expecting. Anyway, let's get into the vehicles. First we get the family-powered Dodge Charger R34 from Doms. Then we get the first Brian Corner vehicle with the explosive Mitsubishi Eclipse 95. And another very popular one, the Nissan Skyline R34 from Mr. Brian. After that we get the Toyota Supra. And finally this double motors Lykan Hypersport from some Fast and Furious movie that I didn't watch. One thing that you gotta remember about those vehicles is that you cannot paint them. You cannot even change the nitrous color or giving them a funny boost sound, so keep in mind that before buying them. Anyway, let's start from the worst to the best. Yeah, the Lykan Hypersport, the car that made a lot of people give up on the Fast and Furious franchise for real. Honestly, this car is pretty forgettable. The only interesting thing about it is the fact that Milestone once again put the flames on the wrong place. And on list 2, it is a bounce vehicle for some reason. I don't know why, this hypercar is not a rocket, but it got the same treatment as the Koenigsegg Jesko, which is also a balance vehicle. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty decent vehicle as far as balance car goes, and it can take corners at high speed pretty easily too, and it comes with 3 charge boosters, so pretty standard stuff. But it doesn't come close to stuff like the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, the RG02, and the GT-Scorcher. Those are way beyond their league. Overall, a fun car to drive, but it will probably be forgot in a week or two. With so many balanced vehicles that perform very similar to each other, it really is just another fish in the sea. So yeah, you really need to like the car or just the red color in general. The mighty family car. Dom's Toretto Dodge Charger is actually pretty sweet as far as drift cars goes, and yeah, the car made drag race is actually a drifter on this game, so that's unfortunately the truth for all muscle cars. As far as fun factor goes, the Charger was definitely my favorite to drive, and overall performance wise combined with those 4 charge boosts made it feel very similar to something like the Mod Rod, another very good drifter that was one of the pre-order DLCs of the game. So as far as drifter goes, as long as you drive on the right track, tracks made for the drifters, stuff like stable surface for example, which has a lot of sharp corners and pads to refill your boost power, you can make some of the best vehicle really work for that win. Also, one thing that I noticed is that the Charger might have some balance issues. Not anything major, but it is something to be careful about it. Anyway, a really fun car to drive, but if you're looking on the bigger picture, the Dodge Charger really can compete against stuff like the Surf and Turf, which to be fair most vehicles can't, the lightweight Ford Mustang GT, and other 5 charge boosters like the Muscle Tone. Well, now it's time to talk about the real deal of the expansion pack.
Ah, here we go again.
Oh, what a surprise, the 2 Swifts are the best of the pack. Firstly, the Nissan Skyline GT R34. I have no idea why this car is a Swift and not a rocket or a balanced vehicle. Look at the size of this freaking boat. And yeah, there really isn't anything new about this vehicle, it's just another 4-chat Swift to oppress the rest of the roster. And it really isn't even that good handling wise, it's more stiff, so clearly not as good as something like Split Image 2, but more in the lines of the S2000. And very similar to the S2000, each 2 has some really nice top speed to compensate for that weird handling, which is not really weird because we all know that all the Swifts drive and handle pretty well, and if you are still having trouble with the handling, you can just run a green drift build on it. And I honestly thought that it couldn't get any better than this one, but I still had one remaining vehicle to test. Oh boy, poor Skyline could only hold their record for like 5 minutes. And that's not all. So the Eclipse just casually exploded all the competition away in a few minutes. And that, boys and girls, is what happened when you give a Swift 5 charges. Essentially, Eclipse is just like the Skyline, but it has one more boost charge, which also means that the Eclipse is just a Honda S2000 with one more boost charge. And you might be asking, is this the best Swift? I still think the Civic Type R is the best 5 charge Swift and essentially the best Swift in the game, but not by much. And I'm starting to think that there is only one way to deal with those Swifts. So for my final thoughts, is it worth it? If you are a Fast and Furious fan, why the heck are you asking this question to me? If you only like the cars, you know now that all those vehicles are pretty good, especially the Eclipse and the Skyline, but you cannot change the levers of it. So you are stuck looking like a racer. Sorry about that. And finally, if you are just looking for the best vehicles to use, offline and online, well, there's better stuff on the base game, or if you wanna buy some DLC, the Honda Pack still is one of the best DLCs that you can get. Well, that's about it for me. Let me know what you guys thought about the new Fast and Furious expansion, the cars, the environment, and I will be seeing you guys on the next video. Ciao!